It's a new rise. Can somebody lift those hands? It's a new rise. I need you to speak it over your own life tonight. It's a new rise. It's a new rise.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Propel Deep Dive. I'm Megan DiMartino, and this is Thursday, the 11th of January already. I just cannot believe that we're in January 2024. This is the second deep dive for the Propel Deep Dive that we've done this year. And I was making lists at the end of last year of people that I wanted to invite on and join me so that you and I can have a conversation. This is live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, in Instagram, on the Facebook page for Propel. So do join us, do come in and join in this conversation. But I was making this list of individuals that I would love to converse with myself, but also have you meet them. And Chip was part of that list. And I then went back and looked at the guests that I've had in the last couple of months, and they were all women. I said, well, you know what? I think I'm going to, and last week. And so I said, you know what? I had someone in mind, but it was a woman. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to ask that person. She had already said yes to be involved, but I said, you know, I'm going to wait, get a few men involved in the next few weeks on the Propel Deep Dive. So the Propel Deep Dive started last year, a year ago, and it started really February 1st, and I was taking the 5 C's from the Propel Your Business and Life Activation program, which are clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. And those 5 C's are my non-negotiables as I am mentoring individuals as they're starting businesses, as they want to start something new in their lives, whether it's a business or a project. It could be just that they're stuck, but those are my 5 non-negotiables. And so last February, I said to Angeline Moore, my colleague in the Propel program, I said, I'm going to go live because I had had a podcast for 2 years called Unique Leaders Live. And I said, you know, it's time to start doing this again. And so I went on February 1st. It's a 5-week month. And so it was perfect because I could do my 5 C's. And then I said, well, this is kind of crazy. I'm not going to be here alone every week. And so with that said, the Propel Deep Dive with my guest was born. And so March 1st, or that first Thursday of March last year, we started the Propel program. So it's really a robust conversation. I'm going to interview my guest, and then, which is Chip Hopper, and give you a little background to Chip, but I'm going to leave it mainly for Chip to share as we chat about life and business and propelling your business in life. But I met Chip in 21, I believe, at Ashley Brandstetter and it wasn't Marcus Black's program yet, Embrace Your Ambition. It was really Ashley's, but we, Clubhouse social media room, kind of all converged, and it was such a unique time. And from that grew the Embrace Your Ambition program that Marcus Black and Ashley put together. So, but Chip and I met in real time there, and we've stayed in communication since then. Chip is an amazing gentleman, and I use that word gentleman because he's just one of the kindest individuals that I have met in a long time. He's very involved with social media. And Angeline will put all of his information up, but you will see him very active. But it is not about Chip, it's about everything else he's doing. And so I want you to know about that because, again, what is so key to expanding your horizons, as that intro talks about, new horizons. It's really about the other person. It's about helping others and helping them expand their horizons. And that is really how the Propel business and life activation program was birthed to help you start, scale, and sustain the business and life of your dreams. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you my friend and guest this evening on the Propel Deep Dive. Hello, sir. Hello, Chip.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm very blessed to have you here with me tonight. Just so
super excited to be here with you.
So with that, I do need to put my glasses on a little bit every now and then here. But as I said in the social media posts for today, I said that you're a business strategist and marketing expert. But you are much more than that. That's kind of just a kind of a highlight reel type of thing. But do share with our guests what you really do and how you do it, because that's what's so unique.
All right, I'd love to. First, I just want to change up where we met a little bit. We met actually on Clubhouse first, right?
Yes.
And but yes, the first in person was at Ashley's for sure. But it's always fun for me to look back and see the relationships and connections that came from Clubhouse. The app has changed quite a bit since then, but it was really a big thing and really helpful during the pandemic, especially to connect a lot of us. And we were on the social media show. That was one of my favorite groups on that channel. Yeah, a little bit about me. I help people tell their stories. So people that come to me have a story, and we all have stories to tell. And I help people share their stories. One of the quotes that drives me is Thoreau said, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation and die with their songs still inside." And I feel called to help people sing their song while they're still alive. Our lives are defined by the stories we tell. And if we want to live a different life, we just need to tell a different story. So that's what I help people do. And whether we put that in a book or I put them on stages or on podcasts or even in just their day-to-day relationships, that's what helps them create the life that they want. I'm a big believer in manifesting and the words that we use to get there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, well, words are powerful. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So we have to be very cautious about speaking against ourselves, but that's a whole other show and a whole other day. But with that said, you're right. Words are powerful, and you're a word meister and help people craft that. But before we go further into that, Chip, you live in Utah, is that correct?
Yes.
And did you grow up in Utah?
So I was born in Utah, but I moved when I was very young. We moved to Chicago, and I lived just outside of Chicago, and then lived in North Carolina, and ultimately came back to Utah. I love the mountains here. I love most of the seasons. January and February are the one time of the year where I'm like, maybe I need to go on vacation. But yeah, I do love the Utah area. Love being around the people out here. I love the fact that within 15 minutes, I can go from a decent sized city all the way to mountains where I could get lost and potentially die because I'm so remote.
Yeah, it's, I live in Texas. As I say, I'm a New York girl, deep in the heart of Texas, with a creative, serving, mentoring spirit. But last summer was brutal. It was, and people say to me, but why now? I mean, I've been here a long time. But last summer, Chip, was 100+ degrees every day for 5 months. Every day.
Yeah.
And you can have a heat wave, right? And then it rains and it's gone. That does not happen here. And so I'm trying to figure out what these 5 months are going to look like, because I sure as heck am not going to be here for 5 months. As I said, people say, well, why are you mad at Texas? Well, I'm not mad at Texas. It's not Texas. It's making a decision, that things are going to change. So you're in Utah, and one of the things that has struck me about you is that you are, and I don't know if I should bring this up right now, but your son gave you a quite unique shirt for Christmas. and you showed it, and you know, it was a great shirt, but it was, and I love it. I'd like to own it too. But it had a lot of sparklies in it because I'm a sparkle girl. Like Angeline's, her whole business is called Kingdom Sparkle Agency. You know, so we're sparklers. But your comment though, that's the piece I liked, was that he knew you so well, or something like that. So share a little bit about that, meaning that you're there in Utah, you have family, obviously, because you mentioned your son, but that essence of you, because you present yourself as a quiet, reserved person.
Yeah, I can present myself as quiet and reserved, but I definitely like to get out and have fun. And dancing is one of the things that really moves me. I love dancing. I love expressing myself through dance and through what I wear, the outfits that I wear, and through the words that I say. So my son, he lives with me full time. He's 14. I have 4 kids. He's the youngest. And he's really been able to experience what I do. One of my favorite things about what I do in working with so many celebrities and athletes and things is that he gets to be around greatness all the time. Mm-hmm. And he gets to see that greatness is just a decision, and it's the choices that we make and what we do. So he's sat in the backyard with some of the brightest minds on the planet and just played with puppies, which he raises puppies. And, he's gotten to know me, and I speak openly to him about relationships and about everything that I'm going through and the things that I'm feeling. And he's just a fantastic, fantastic human.
My goodness. Angeline, just put your shirt up.
Oh, nice. There it is. That's the shirt. So there's a more recent post where I'm wearing the gold pants that he bought it to go with. So yeah, I've got these gold pants that yeah, keep going. There we go. Right there. Those are my gold pants, my bell bottom pants. That,
oh, great. Thank you, Angeline. That is fabulous. Fabulous. Well, that is, when you just said about your son and being exposed to amazing minds. One of the proverbs that I love, and I actually put the scripture number on the information about our Propel tonight, is Proverbs 18:16. Your gifts are within you. All your gifts are within you. You don't have to excavate or, 3 feet from gold, chip away at they are there, but we have to recognize them and share with our guests. You're speaking about your son, 14. That's a very important age. Remember, that 12 to 15 is really a key time. Just share your thoughts about your gifts, meaning you yourself helping your clients. I was going to say patients. I'm sitting in the clinic here. Your clients go within and as you said, you help people with their transition from, you were mentioning athletes, to go to a thought leader. So those gifts are within them. When they come to you, they're sharing their dreams, goals, and aspirations. So share with our guests, because what I want to accomplish with the deep dive truly is that I want people to understand that they do have gifts, and that you and I are nothing special, that we just have continued to work at understanding what our gifts are.
We're conduits, right?
Yes.
And, for me, the greatest sign of success when I'm working with someone is if they leave our conversation feeling like the ideas that we could discuss came from them. Mm-hmm. So if I can get them to see themselves so clearly and bring answers from them that they leave feeling like they're leaving better understanding themselves from their own insights that they gained, that to me is success, right? One of the things that I found early on for myself is that I have a great sense of energy. I can feel energy, I can see energies, and I can see a lot of the things that are moving in other people, and I'm able to help them bring those things out. I'm a big believer in energy. We talk about the spirit, or we talk about energy, or we talk about different things. There are different names we can put on all these things, but the core of it is the same, right? We manifest from within, and we create from within, and we have these gifts that we have within us. For me, everything is, energy is neither created nor destroyed. So everything that has happened and everything that could possibly happen already exists in the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is, it's a difference of what is manifest and how we manifest it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
so that's what I help people do with.
We're a physics problem. We are plain and simple. And it's harnessing that energy and helping people go within and really bring that out is what you're doing and have done. So when you said, and when I started doing this, so what did, just share a thumbnail sketch of, you shared where you've lived, but more in your adult journey. Where did you start, and then how did it lead to this? Because again, helping people see that your life is always evolving. It's never static. Back to energy, it's always evolving. And when you perceive that you're done, you will be done. That's why, when I sold my business, by the way, a part of it in 20, I called Sharon Lecter, my dear friend, and she said, Megan, you are not retiring, you're refiring. You can hear Sharon, right?
Yep. Love Sharon.
And so, it's energy there, right? And that, from that is where the Propel came from, because as we were talking, she said, you have so much to share. You've started all these businesses and built them. So, but share a little thumbnail sketch about yourself, because we didn't just plop here. We have evolved.
Yeah, this is one of those where it's a little hard to share just the thumbnail sketch, because there were so many steps along my evolution. For one, I worked for 30 different companies and roles before I was 30, and ended up in a position of corporate strategy and marketing. But I found that all along the way, from helping pioneer the animation program at BYU to working in marketing, to all of these things, they all brought together this space of me wanting to help tell story, and me working to understand how the mind works, and seeking to grow and learn about that. You might know this, but I've read a book a week for almost 25 years now, and the learning from that has significantly changed me and helped me grow. One of the things you mentioned that's interesting when you talked about the constant change is, one of the concepts that I have for a book is that if I took myself now and I took myself 10 years ago, and I put both of those characters in a book and didn't reveal until the end that they were the same person, just separated by time, those two people are so different in their thought as to not be recognizable as the same person. And my thought was to write a storyline about the two of them in opposition to each other, and then realizing, Sixth Sense style, towards the end of the book, that they were actually the same person, just separated by time. We have this belief that we are constant and we don't change, when the truth is we are constantly changing, and in a single lifetime we live multiple lifetimes.
Amen. I mean, I just cannot agree more strongly with that. And I'm talking about your story, about you 10 years ago and 10 years. And even though I can see from a career position the thread, but the me has totally evolved, and I will continue to evolve, as we all will. It's not just me or you, but that is the thing. I think personally, that's one of my true commitments to continuing on and never stopping, is that it's about me, to learn and grow and bring all of that to the universe, to other people around me, however God wants that to be, whoever that is. So yeah, no, we're totally aligned, my friend. Totally aligned.
Yeah, one of my favorite lines is, the old line of, the more I know I don't know, right?
Amen. Yeah. That's for dang. That's for dang sure. One of the things as I was preparing for tonight, and this, I don't even remember when this was, but you interviewed, and I can't remember the man's name, and it's like driving me crazy. So that's why I'm bringing it up here. But you interviewed, and it was a Saturday, I remember that, and it was probably after I met you in real time. But the actor who, fabulous actor, I mean, I can see his movies. And I'll be lying in bed tonight and they'll all come out, but you'll tell me now. But what's his name? The one that Jewish guy from New York.
Richard Dreyfuss.
Thank you.
Yes.
Richard Dreyfuss. Yes. So that to me was one of my personally my highlights there on Clubhouse because and I'm saying I can't remember his name, but you know, the fact that we were on that audio app and listening to you interview Richard Dreyfuss, Academy Award winner, and it amazes me. And something like Clubhouse will happen again. It will.
Yeah, I agree.
It will. So Richard Dreyfuss, just for our audience and our guests, how did you meet him? And did you do a book for him? Is that how that all came together?
Yeah, I did actually do a book for him. And what's interesting about the experience that you're talking about was I happened to be at his home when we were getting on Clubhouse. And I spent the last few weeks that I was working with him on the book, I actually spent a couple of those at his home and had my son there with me and my partner at the time and her daughter. So we actually stayed in Richard's home with him and hung out with him for several days, having conversations with him. I've got great pictures of him and my son doing the face where the Jaws face, you know, but we were talking about having him on Clubhouse. And so I sat next to him and helped him figure out how to get registered on the app and how to sign into the room. And so we were both sitting in his house during that time that I was interviewing him. We were just sitting in different rooms so that we didn't have the background static on Clubhouse.
I didn't know that. But
the power of Clubhouse, yeah, just a fantastic space to bring voices together and to be able to have conversations with people like Richard Dreyfuss, where most people don't have access to him, right?
No, I mean, not at all. I mean, just the amazing conversations, and that's what they were, right?
Yeah.
With people, especially those first couple of years, the conversations with people that, and they could get heated, you know, or not contentious, but a debate-ish, but they were fantastic. It just was such a moment in time that I'm so joyful that I was able to participate to some degree in. So
and meeting people like you, right? Like you have continued to be a part of my life, and it's been amazing and fantastic to all the voices that we met there.
And that's a very good point, because, well, thank you for the compliment, but also the fact that when you resonated with someone, because it's just a little icon, but it's their voice, and through the voice is their spirit. And so when you connect with somebody, you're not going to just not connect with them, you know?
Yep.
And so people like you and so many of the other folks that, I mean, I'll think about them and then I'll message them on, you know, Facebook or Instagram, and just that connection I really know will continue on. So speaking of Facebook and Instagram, I saw not long ago, it was probably in the fall, you did something with Forbes Riley.
Yes. Yeah. Forbes is a good friend.
And so did she come up to, and there's a point I want to bring to this, but did she come to you? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so I knew of Forbes before Clubhouse, but actually became friends with her on Clubhouse. And we just maintained a friendship and a relationship over the years. And I was heading down to Florida to run a mastermind, a last minute mastermind that we pulled together in about a week and a half, which ended up being one of the favorite ones that I've run in 25 years of running masterminds. But heading down there, I called up Forbes and it was like, hey, I'm putting together a group down here. Would love to have you join, because we had never met in person before. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, how about you come by my studio for an hour? Just bring the whole group by and we'll hang out at my studio. So I took our group of about 15 people down to her studio with the intention that we would just hang out for about an hour. And we ended up spending almost 5 hours together, I believe. And she took us around her studio, showed us everything that was going on. And when we left the studio, she called me up while we were driving home, and she said, Chip, I just want to do more with you. She's like, I have a free week. What if I came out to Utah? What could we put together? And I'm like, I'll take that challenge. And we put together an 8-day trip, I think, it was 8 or 9 days, and I think we had 8 different events that we ended up bringing her into and having her speak at, and just a fantastic experience. So we spent 8 days eating, breathing, drinking, everything together. And her and her husband, Joshua, who is just an amazing human. We had a great time, and we're looking now. She's going to be coming out again here, and we're going to be putting out another event here in the first week of February. I've got her coming to one of the events that I'm helping with in the middle of February. And yeah, she's fantastic.
So I brought that up. She is. And she, since her Spin Gin days on 810, because I have a skincare brand, and one of the, I could bore you with my crazy stories of trying to get onto those channels, QVC and HSN, literally walking in. I mean, I actually went into QVC to their offices. I mean, it was long ago, so today I'd be arrested. But her energy and who she is and what she's done is truly one of the things. I would say from afar, a girl crush.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'd love to meet her. But with that said,
come out to Utah. Let's hang out.
Hey, okay, that's a deal. A date. I will work that through, because that, to me, one of the things about this year, my goals is and that's why I brought it up, is because regardless of what happens in the world, and I don't think we're going to allow the world to shut down again. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do a lot. I feel like there are things that happen that we end up setting up rules for, and we probably wouldn't even need those rules. I think back now with the awareness that we have, like no one could hold a plane hostage with a razor blade now, right? There are things that just won't happen again because of what we saw happen when they happened before. Right. And I think a world shutdown is in that category.
Exactly. So I think to myself often, yes, Clubhouse, and not just Clubhouse, but social media, let's just say that, is an avenue, a tool, but it's not going to be a lifestyle. And so we are getting out and about and communicating and sharing and building. And like, as you said, a storyteller and connecting people, that genre is only going to expand. And you've just shared it. I mean, because I didn't know any of the backstory, but I could tell that it was kind of very much what you said. I'm talking about Forbes now, how it was spontaneous, more spontaneous. So do you see more and more in-person, like you said, masterminds and retreats and things of that nature happening?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I've been one of the things that I've been listed as and have worked as in corporate for a long time is a strategist and a futurist, right? And I've been coding since I was a teenager. My cousin started at Google when there were 50 employees. So technology and social and AI have been a part of my entire life. What I actually see trending right now, and likely trending more as as AI becomes more integrated, is we can now with AI create video that looks realistic. We can create text-based that looks realistic. We can send messages that seem real. I would not be surprised to see a push towards in-person events more, because that's the only space that you can actually feel that you're really interacting with the real person.
Yes, yes, I had that same thought. I just was really thinking through a lot of, again, what I wanted this year, this coming 12 months to look like. And I was thinking about what you just said, that people are going to be clamoring for that connection because of what is evolving with that space. Yeah, so interesting. So I just want to stop for a minute and ask Angeline, are there any people in the green room?
Yes, we do have people in the green room. We have Brian and we have Jessica that I'll bring up on stage, but I also wanted to shout out our Facebook audience. Araya McGarry's in the house. Shelly Jean has said hello to everyone. And since this is a new and first time we are live on Instagram, we have Ben Shapiro himself saying hello. He says, "Hey guys, miss you both. I remember when Chip came into Clubhouse. That was awesome." Then he said, "I gave Megan her first green bean." So super
Wow.
You remember those green beans, Angeline, but
yes, so fun. So welcome, Brian, and welcome, Jessica, to the stage.
and when anyone else come, you'll bring them in, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But before, and I did a bad job, Angeline. I told you that I was yeah, I have a question.
That's
And
okay.
Brian and Jessica, just one more minute. I want to ask Chip a question because we're going to bring this into the next segment with you guys. Chip, when I closed down is not the right word, but ended Unique Leaders Live, I mentioned Sharon Lecter earlier in her success formula, which she has in 3 Feet from Gold. And it's your passion times talent, or plus talent, action, association plus faith equals success. So what I asked everyone at the close of the Unique Leaders, I asked my guests, which you are tonight, what is your passion and what is your purpose?
That's a fantastic one. Try and answer that in a brief manner.
Yes.
I really have a passion for helping tell a story, and I constantly feel called to help people tell their stories. I think, like I said at the beginning, the idea that most of us are just stumbling through and just trying to get by day to day, it doesn't have to be that way, right? We have the tools and technology now to just live such better lives. And for me, it's about sharing those tools. As I said, I've read a lot, I've learned a lot, I've helped to write a lot of books as a ghostwriter. So my name's not on them and I can't speak of them, but the content in them is fantastic. And the more that we can step into that space, the better world I think that we'll have for our children and our grandchildren. And that's what really drives me, to create space for people to live how they want, where they want, doing what they want.
Wonderful. So that really just totally encapsulates everything that we've talked about, there and who you are. So now, Miss Angeline, if you could bring our guests in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to correct myself. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. It wasn't Ben Shapiro. I don't even know why I said Ben Shapiro. It's Dr. Sean Shapiro. It was on Instagram that said all that.
Well, I knew who you meant. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, I think everyone did. And I don't even know where Ben came from. That's just, okay. So fun. Here's Jessica and Brian. Welcome to the stage, y'all.
Okay, thank you. And Sean, hello. And when she said Ben Shapiro, he's, in the news, right? I mean, Ben Shapiro, isn't he? I can see his face, but I knew that you meant Dr. Sean.
Yeah, in fact, I was like, I swear his name is Sean. But I was learning something new about him, and apparently I wasn't right.
Right. His official doctor name, Ben Shapiro. So good evening, Brian and Jessica. Welcome to the Propel Deep Dive, and I'm so glad that you're here tonight with us. And people, I'm sure, will come in, Chip, as the evening goes on. And Jessica, it's so good to see your face, your beautiful face. She normally is here with her Clubhouse icon. So good to have you, my dear.
Thank you.
In the
I
real
was catching the tail end of the conversation, but I'm talking about purpose and all of that with having your voice and what Chip is doing, it all resonates with me. So I'm happy to be here and be part of the conversation.
Well, great. And we're so blessed to have you, because you, you are here often and have shared that you're in a growth transition time. And as I always say, that is the purpose for the Propel Deep Dive really is to, yes, obviously, have my guest have a platform, but also to share back with you. And that's why, Chip, people ask me all the time, how do you, because I have a very diverse, if you go in and see who has been guests, very diversified, and I'm sure Jessica and Brian will agree with this, but I just listen, Chip. I just listen for guidance, that energy again, that still quiet, small voice. But most importantly, is a person who is not just about themselves, but wants to share, just as you said, your passion and your purpose of helping others identify their stories. So I'm so glad you're here. Mr. Brian.
So Sean is trying to join, he says, and it wouldn't let him join, but I don't know. How do we get someone to join?
Okay, so Angeline, how would Dr. Sean join us? Can you put up the link where he can go in? Angeline.
I was talking and you guys can hear me. Yes, I am going to. Sean, I'm going to DM you the link so you can join us in the green room. You'll get it from Megan's official Instagram.
There'll be a party.
Right.
Yay, so exciting.
Something I wanted to say as I'm also, I feel like I've met you before, Chip. I'm sure you've been in one of the Clubhouse rooms or communities we're a part of. But to this conversation about purpose, I think a lot of us are in this space of what that means to have a new year. There's projects and things we didn't do last year that we don't want to, the pain of not creating the thing or doing the thing is kind of gnawing at a lot of people. And something I've been leaning into by quite literally being more visible is the fact that you can't fully run after your purpose without having vision. And if you don't have vision for your life or vision, there's reasons why the Bible even talks about people perishing because they don't have vision. Mm-hmm. And I happen, a lot of the time, the reason I have just my icon is because I'm partially sighted, and sometimes it's just feels better that way. And I can kind of get by and around it, but I'm leaning into and kind of collectively with a lot of other people leaning into being more visible so that others can have examples of what vision can look like, how to rediscover their vision, and then be able to run with their purpose. So there's a difference between having sight and having vision, and that's just been a clarion call for me to have a comeback season. So just some thoughts to add to the conversation tonight.
I love that, Jessica. I love your thoughts. I love your distinction between vision and sight. And I have found like it is easy for people to sit in a space of saying they need clarity before they can take action. I have found for me, like the best way to get clarity is to be moving. And if you are moving, you're going to be feeling whether that feels right or doesn't feel right. And that's how you get that vision, is by actually taking those steps, in my opinion, right? And but I love that you're doing that, and you're stepping out there and moving and learning.
And being very consistent in that, Chip. She's very present. But also, Chip, I don't know if you were here, Jessica, when Chip shared how, and hello, Dr. Sean. But Chip shared that the 10-year ago Chip is not the 10-year today Chip. But all of those 10 years, he wasn't not active. So in that growth and evolution, took action. to get to the chip today. So we're all evolving, and it's that in that action. You're right, very much so. Yeah. But I see what you're saying, why you would not be, um, you know, you right here versus your icon. But I love seeing you, here. Yeah. Because I like seeing your head shake and agree, or, and your body language and all that. So I just thank you for doing that. Appreciate it.
People have a hard time being visible. It's easier to kind of diminish or hide, and especially if you don't have vision, it's hard to be confident and really carry yourself with that kind of strength and optimism. So it's kind of all related, and the more I'm just in collaboration with what Chip was sharing tonight. The more we show up, the more we're visible. Other people are watching and can take note of that and be inspired to take their own action. So, all encompassing. Welcome, Dr. Shapiro, and good to actually see your face as well. I've never seen your face.
I'm sorry then. I'm sorry that you finally saw.
Oh, please.
I do want to say, Dr. Sean, I'm so sorry. I got your name wrong at first when I called you out. So,
What's up, Ben?
You're now Ben.
sorry.
That's
So-
great.
Well,
Dr.
let me-
Shaw here on Instagram, I'm sure, correct? Is that how you found us?
Yeah, I saw you and Chip going at the same time. I switched back and forth. Figured it was a StreamYard because you both look you look really good. But when I asked to join on the live, it wasn't an active link, so I knew there was something up with it. How are you guys doing?
Good, good. This is a platform I do every Thursday night, Dr. Sean.
Oh,
It's
okay.
called Hell Deep Dive. And this is the first where we stream out into YouTube and LinkedIn. But this is the first week and my Facebook group. But also, but it's the first week we've gone live on Instagram. So, yes, so we'll make sure that link is there so we can get you guys into it. But yeah, so Chip is my guest. You were on Unique Leaders with me.
I was.
You were. So if you go back to YouTube, you'll see Sean Shapiro, Dr. Shapiro as a guest there.
My podcast career ended there, I think.
Oh, please.
It was a good interview.
But I met you in real time at another Embrace Your Ambition Chip. It was the one in Denver the next year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I missed that one. I really wanted to be there. I love that group of people, and I'm so excited for everything that they're doing, and love seeing how they're growing and growing that program.
Yeah. So I didn't go this year, but I went the following year with Christy Jensen. So Christy has remained a good friend, and just getting doing things with her. So she came with me that year as well. So how are you doing, Dr. Sean?
Let me hop before we go to Sean. I wanted to hop back just real quick to Jessica and just say how grateful I am she came up here. And Jessica, you have a contagious smile. It's just fantastic. So keep sharing that. And your voice is beautiful. So you should be absolutely speaking and sharing your message. Your energy is fantastic.
Thank you. That means a lot. I started the new year, actually, it really means a lot. I started the new year formally being newly designated as legally blind, and it just seems to be time. It seems to be time to just be visible, and it's nothing to be ashamed of, or honestly, it shouldn't change anything, but it does. And navigating this diagnosis for the past couple of years, I'm just the steps to be visible is gonna inspire other people to take courage. And everyone has something they're struggling with. It's not always people have invisible struggles or more visible, but either way, it's what unites us. And thank you. it's time to use my voice more. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen. And you are, because you're speaking on Clubhouse, and you're, I'm sure this isn't the only room you go into and sharing. So you're building that muscle, Jessica, and that's another piece that Clubhouse was and is so powerful about, is helping you step out and speak. Yes. And getting a green bean from Sean Shapiro. Yes.
Oh my God. Can you believe how important that used to be to people? Like there were literally wars over people not getting moderated and
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
I still am that way. I will jump out if you don't mod me, I'm out.
Really? Really? That's the last thing I expected from you, Chip, to be honest with you.
I'm totally joking.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when Sarah and I were running Breakfast with Champions, we had like 110 different moderators and stuff like that. I used to battle with like Barbara Majeski and Alpha 6 before he got axed, and all those people about about who was modded, when they were and finally I'd had enough, and I just started kicking people off the stage as soon as they gave me a hard time, and it literally take you an hour and a half to get back on if you gave me a hard time at all, because it was just so ridiculous. Yeah. And there were times where I would tell people, I would go in the back channel and say, don't mod me, I just want to listen. I'll be on stage, but I just want to listen. And so I didn't have to worry about it, but because it was so stressful sometimes, because I want to help. I know people are there to promote themselves, and people want to, but it was just kind of ridiculous. So what are we talking about tonight? Purpose?
Well, before we jump into purpose again, I've got a couple of people over on my Instagram. I was actually able to get it live, that are asking about joining.
Cool.
Can you text me a link that I can DM them?
Yep, that's on your way.
Okay.
Actually, a couple of millionaires are asking if they can get. I don't know how to get on.
Basically, Sean, as I said, this is a weekly program.
Yeah.
Called Your Business and Life Deep Dive. I have a guest, and the Propel program is a business program, but it's based on my 5 C's, which are clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and compassion. And that's the essence of that. So loosely, we speak about those things, but going back to the Unique Leaders days, to have my guests share a bit about themselves. But I always end the segment with, and I asked you that question, what is your passion and what is your purpose? I don't recall what you said, but then after that, we open up the green room, because that is what StreamYard has, and to our guests, that they can, just really part in the conversation, whatever that is. But Chip ended by talking about his passion, which is to help people, transition from what they're doing in their daily lives, to thought leaders. And so anyway, that is what we were speaking about. And there's Joe Ingram. Hello, Joe. Welcome to Propel Deep Dive. Now I see, I don't know if did you bring him in, Chip?
I think I don't know where he's coming from.
Maybe the Facebook group.
He's live on Facebook right now. So his first comment was, I wasn't understanding, but somebody helped Chip off that rickety bridge. And then he said that Chip is a mod snob. Give me the bean. And then I'm leaving quietly, nod to Clubhouse.
So I'm Joe Ingram in Dr. Finance's room, Anthony Crinitti, and I was walking down the street here in Georgetown one Friday night when Anthony was on, and Joe had a contest. I don't remember what it was, but I then put in my number as I'm walking, and I won. I have no idea what I won, but I won something. So those are the crazy days of Clubhouse, just those organic moments in time. that we remember, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and those are two people, Joe and Anthony, that I've both been able to meet in person from Clubhouse. So Anthony came out to Utah. We had dinner together, had a fun couple days together. Joe, I've met at several events now, and yeah, it's that Clubhouse family really, propelled a lot of things.
Propel, exactly. Does. It did. I just want to highlight, Chip, Brian Coletto. I'm sure, Sean, you remember Brian from the social media room, maybe?
Of course.
Okay.
I remember Brian.
Yeah. Brian is, Chip, I don't know if you know him, but he has autism. And he is an amazing young man. He lives in central New Jersey, and he is active on social media. He just got an influencer's position on LinkedIn, and now is doing these live videos. And the one you did yesterday, maybe, Brian, was extraordinary. Of how he created a little jingle about autism and how it is bringing awareness to that, meaning to that condition. Hello, Shelley Jean. And just, I said to myself, what courage this man has to do what he's doing. So Brian, can you come live, or can you just say hello, or? There you are.
Yes. Hi, Megan. Hello, friends. Yeah, I've just kind of been working out down here. That's why I haven't been on video, because it's I've had a bit of a long day between work and then going for a walk, and then I had an event. Although I've been able to listen to a majority of the talk tonight because I got home early enough. But yeah, great to be here. Kind of at a loss for words right now. I don't know totally what to say.
I just wanted Chip to know you, Brian, because you both are social media guys, and it's always that connection. And Brian, as we've been talking about, like with Jessica's diagnosis, that it doesn't define you. It's just refining you, and you are making such a not just a difference, but because not everyone has autism that is responding to you. But to me, you give me such inspiration to be verbal and present, because you are so present. And that is the word, Chip, that when you go back and look at some of his things that he posts, I mean, he's just very present and very aware, but he's aware that he's making a difference. Would you agree with that, Brian?
Yes, I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So is that your passion and purpose right now?
Yes, that's my passion and purpose.
So I don't know.
That is so powerful. That is beautiful, Brian. I love that.
Thank you, Chip.
He's just a good man, and just like you three are. See, I said, Sean, that if you go back to see the guests that I've had in the last, let's say, 2 months on Propel, they've all been women. I said, well, this has got to change. I have to have a little manpower here. And that's when I reached out to Chip and said, would you like to be my guest this week? Because that energy.
He's a good one. He's a good guest.
Amen. Amen.
I am honored to be here.
Well, I look forward to doing, and that's what we were talking about too, Dr. Sean, was doing things in real time, getting together. So we need to stay in touch and, communicate what you're doing, Chip, for some of these folks. Like, Jessica, where do you live? You live in?
I'm in upstate New York area.
Okay.
Currently. Yeah.
My dad was born in Schenectady, New York, by the way. I didn't know if you knew that, Megan. And I actually lived in Brooklyn and Queens for a couple of years. So I lived in Flatbush.
I did know that you lived in Brooklyn for a while. Sean, did you listen to the interview that Chip did with Richard Dreyfuss. It was a Saturday, and it was Richard Dreyfuss, the actor.
Yeah, I think he was on a couple times. I know he was on Breakfast with Champions, and he was definitely in the social media room. He was in the social media room, I think, for 2.5 hours or something.
Maybe that
he hung in there. He liked it at first, I think. Yeah, no, I was ecstatic to be part of that. Close Encounters. What about Bob? All those movies. I mean, he was literally like a movie machine, right? Like in the 80s, like he had like 3 or 4 movies every year. And it was interesting to listen to him and get a sense of who he was as a person after all those years of watching those movies and stuff like that, because you sort of think who those people are, but you really you don't. And I remember that one was a good one. I remember Nate Forrest, who I was just texting with, which is why I keep going black. He was really ecstatic for him to be there at the social media room that time. We all were. I think we all stayed. I think I missed. I think I closed my practice. Like we only had like 2. I think for an extra half hour just to stay on. Like I moved some patients around just to stay on that day. That's how crazy it was back then, though, because it was super super fun, super addictive, and I made some of the closest friendships I've ever made on that app, and I still like the Millionaires still talk pretty much every week, in fact, Jalissa's texting like crazy right now, which is weird for her, and she's something about Grant Cardone. I haven't really gone into it, but by the time I get back there, there could be like 100 texts in less than an hour and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm sorry. I could go on about Clubhouse all day. I apologize, but I do remember Richard Dreyfuss there. I remember Chip bringing a lot of people in though. Chip's a monster. He really is. He's like the nicest monster on the planet, right? He's got so many contacts, so many things. Like Laura Wilde, all she does is talk about when she needs to talk to somebody. He's like, I gotta call Chip Hopper and get him to introduce me to that person, because she thinks the world of him too. Most of the people I know do. So you picked a great first male lead here, Megan, for sure.
That's very kind of you too, Sean. I think the world of you as well. And Laura Wilde is one of my favorite humans, and Nate Forrest and all of those people. I mean, I still remember fondly the days of 18 hours a day on Clubhouse.
Yeah, no, I remember falling asleep in rooms, people leaving in the room to sleep and stuff like that. It was crazy. I think Marcus Black is watching us right now. He might. I don't know if you want to send him a link.
Oh, I love Marcus.
I'd love to hear from Mark. I'd love to hear from Marcus, and he's a great guest too. So I don't know if he wants to come up or not.
No, Nate and Laura, they're on my list. So
yeah,
and you are too, Mr. Sean, Dr. Sean. So Angeline, can you see if Marcus is hanging around someplace, and we'll open it up.
He's texting me right now. Let me see what he's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on my IG right now, so I told him to look at the link there. But if you guys can grab him some other place, that would be great.
Oh, but that link will bring him in. So this is a reunion of sorts, Chip.
Yeah, this is the great thing about this is what made Clubhouse so incredible, right? The bringing together of people who normally would not have met any other way.
Right.
We've got a room.
Like the fact that this is a video, meaning you can see people. Do you like this?
I do. Like I said, I think we're going to go more and more to spaces where it is us on live video interacting together, and spaces where we're in live spaces together, because the AI is making it so easy to just make it look like it's you in a single space. And I think we're just going to feel inundated by that very, very quickly.
So, Angeline, this was great that you did the IG, because that's where everyone is pulling in. These folks are coming into,
It's really cool. I'm excited to continue it.
Yeah, no, it's great help.
Marcus said he's about to put the boys in the bath. So,
Marcus, get up here.
Maybe you're that late for one night. Come on, Marcus.
Because you can. Let's go, family. Come up for a minute and say hi, Marcus.
But if you can't, next Thursday night, be here, same time, same place. We'll see you then. So, Angeline, I think this is our new, like we said, IG is the deal. It'll pull people in like this that we have.
Well, I've always appreciated this sort of after party, more VIP-ish. It just feels more like a VIP experience to have the after hours of the interview, and then getting to have a town hall and get to actually meet people that you're on Clubhouse. Like I feel like I know you guys, even though I've never met you. Like that's the way it should be. So there's ways to evolve this to be more of a curated,
Yes.
possibly paid, to have this sort of town hall community aspect. I'm all for it. So I think it's great.
Well, that was my vision last year when I said to Angeline, I said, I want to do this on StreamYard, but then stream it out all over the place where people will come in. And like you said, Jessica, where I have a guest, yes. So it's not on YouTube, it goes into a podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's, where we're communicating and talking and sharing ideas and thoughts, and then open it up to the folks wherever they're coming in. So it's fun to see this evolving.
Yeah, repurposing it. Like you probably can still make a podcast out of some of it, and then.
Oh, you can cut it up, but that's, neither here nor there. Podcasts can be done differently, right, Chuck? Chuck. Jim.
I've been called worse than Chuck, so go for it.
Chuck, Ben.
Yes, whatever. I guess we all answer to things. So normally we end around 8 o'clock or on the hour before, when we've been on. So Dr. Shapiro, though, I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I may.
Sure, go ahead.
So how is life? Because you've had some bumpy roads in the last couple of years.
Well, bumpy but productive, and so I ended my marriage in 2022. I ended up falling in love with somebody on Clubhouse. She'll remain nameless. It didn't work out, but it was eye-opening to me. The thing that Clubhouse did for me was really define how I wanted to be treated in life. When I got on stage and I shared my story, it was a whole different world. There were people like me out there, they didn't necessarily have all the same beliefs and all that stuff, but they absolutely had the same hearts, and we were and we were all sort of bunkered down together, but we supported each other in a tremendous way. So I just found a way. I found a tribe. I found a way that I wanted to be treated in life, and I wasn't going to settle for anything less than that. And I don't think we should. And it's not necessarily, my ex-wife's fault that I was treated that way. I allowed that to happen, but I just don't allow that into my experience anymore. If you're not an F yeah person in my life, then you don't ride with me. You know what I'm saying? So life is good. I've done a lot of work on myself. I've done a lot of work. I've had a lot of positive experiences, even though life was bumpy. I think the last time we talked, I had just left Megan, to be honest with you. So I was kind of freaking out, and then, whatever. So my point, life is good.
Yeah, good.
Long story short.
I've listened to you a little bit recently on Clubhouse, but
yes.
Also just seeing you here, and you because yes, the last time I saw you, you were in not a great place, and then you left totally and Clubhouse, and so it's good to see you, Dr. Sean and or Ben Shapiro, and
Ben Shapiro is a conservative commentist. What does he do? I don't know.
Not a communist, but he's
commenter. Is that how you say it? I don't know what he is, but yeah, he's not me.
He pontificates his thoughts. but yes, but good to see you here, my friend.
Thank you.
So good to see you. So
Thanks for
watch
having me.
and listen for the text, or watch for the text to be a guest. So we look forward to having you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. And Chip, what a delight. And, I have so many thoughts, not necessarily structured to what we talked about, but continuing our July. Sean, I was driving out to the hill country of Texas, and my car exploded, literally exploded. The belts, you don't know this, Chip, but the next day when the guy with the tow truck came, he said, "How did you even get here?" And I said, "I have no idea." But it's a long story, but I was out in no man's land, and I drove with the tow truck guy in his cab to get back to Austin. But the day I was waiting for the tow truck, I had a call with Chuck. You're going to be Chuck. I don't know why.
I'll be Chuck, whatever.
With Chip. So we need to continue, and that's where you have shared what next step for my life, so to speak, with my stuff I'm doing. So thank you very much.
Well,
Chip.
thank you again for having me, Megan. I think what you're doing is fantastic. The world needs more Megans, and I'm just honored to know you and to have opportunities to share heartbeats with you. So,
Amen. So just know that we're here, right, Miss Jessica? We're here on Thursday night, so do join us. And different people pop in and out, but I know with Instagram this is going to expand. So do come back and share and see who's with me next time. Thank you again, everyone, and be blessed.
good night.